All right, so we're up here at Orellan, and it is the better of the two viewpoints to see the old Roman gold mine of Las Medulas. Down below is the town of Las Medulas, and there are trails that come up and all through these bottoms and into some of the old tunnels and caved in mine workings that are sitting down below. But if you drive up to Orellan, the trail comes up over here. I guess I should point with this hand, comes up over here. And it's about a kilometer hike from the parking lot to here. This is the overview. And there's a little building right here below us with a tunnel that cuts through the mountain and comes out over here to these workings right there. So you get to do a tunnel, they give you a hard hat, bunch of stuff. The trails down below are for free. I suspect there's a small fee, probably 2 or 3 euros to come into the caves because they've got to outfit you and guide you. All right, so that is the family. We are underground at Orellan, and this is one of the tunnels cut by the old Roman miners, or a group of the old Roman miners, as they pursued their quest for gold. The tunnels we're in were access drifts. From here they would tunnel over, drop shafts that they could flood, and do their hydraulic mining out here on the cliff face that's just off to my right. But we're kind of here at the end of a drift. Most of the workings and active face is over there. And so this is about where they stopped once the miners gave up, moved out about 350 AD. All right, here's a side drift. This is what one of the tunnels the miners would have actually made as they tried to drift across the mountain. You don't want to move too much material. The more you move, the more you got to carry out. So you'll make the drifts small as possible, just big enough to get the water where you need it. This one's probably about 4 feet tall. All right, so here's the tunnel we came in. You can see here's a winze, a decline into some lower workings. What they would have done from here is actually dropped in a shaft down. They'll bring in water, they'll flood it, and that will soften the ground until it gives way and floods this canyon out here. We'll walk over there and take a look. All right, so here we are at the opening. The tunnel opening is about 10 yards behind us right here. It looks like this section was mined in lifts. They would have tunneled down and across, blown it out, mined it off, and then tunneled down again, done another lift, and there's probably 3, maybe 4 lifts to get from the top of the cliffs down to the pay layer. So as we look across the valley, we're actually pretty high up, and these big cave openings are likely due to erosion. We have the tunnels here, nice, tight, narrow. The water comes rushing out of them under high pressure, high velocity, and as it opens up, it just blows the material out, especially as all the rock and mud around it is completely saturated with water and very soft. So where we hit the cliff face and the pressures release, the velocity is able to literally just rip that rock apart and widen the openings. And we find these huge caves all throughout this park, and it's just at the cut faces, always at the cut faces, and as you head back into the cliff, it tightens down to nice narrow tunnels. Now these mines were really dangerous. Thousands and thousands of miners were killed in here. They were all free men, they weren't slaves, they were working of their own accord, and they paid taxes to Rome for the privilege of being here. But one of the perks of being here, 110 degrees outside, it's 55 degrees inside. And it was an 8 to 10 hour shift. So it was actually a really good place to work if you lived. All right, so we're overlooking the old gold mining area of Las Medulas. This whole region here used to be mountains and hills similar to what we see in the distance. And the Romans hydraulically mined this whole area, sinking shafts, driving drifts, filling them with water. And when the ground softened, the pressure from that water, the pore pressure and the compressed air that was in those drifts would blow out the side walls of all of the alluvium in the cliffs here, and it would cave in and flow out the bottoms where they would sluice the material. Very large, open, expansive mining area, especially for its day. Mines of this size are unheard of in the history of the world, clear up until 1900. This area here was actually the largest gold mine or any mine in the history of the world to the 1900s, when modern open pit mining came into being. So this is currently a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is a must-see if you ever get to northern Spain. All right, so we just got back to the parking lot at El Orellan, the gallery of El Orellan. And between Las Medulas and El Orellan, we have spent most of the afternoon. We got here at 1. It is now 6, maybe a little bit after 6 o'clock. And so pretty much all day, we hiked around, looked at a lot of the old workings. It's a beautiful area. The fall colors are awesome. In and around all these tall spires that were left by the Roman miners. Beautiful area, a lot of great hiking. However, between the hikes, probably 45 minutes to sit and eat lunch, drive around to El Orellan, hike up there, go through the tunnels. We're looking at 5+ hours. And we kind of took a few shortcuts. We missed one of the good overlooks. So it's really a full day excursion if you want to come here. Most of the trails are free. Parking's free. If you want to go through the gallery, that's €3 for an adult, €2 for a child. Kids under 5 or 17 to 12, €2. Kids under 5 are free. So it's a very inexpensive day trip. Beautiful, good exercise, sunshine, fresh air. There is a lot of walking if you're old or infirm. It's going to be a bit challenging. It is not handicap accessible. But for those that can make it, this is an awesome place to visit and comes well recommended. Come to Orellan.
No, I'm talking about the car. It says, drive underneath the house. There's the old church. I believe it was built in the 9th century.